Now, of course, we have to talk about what's happening in Taiwan at the moment.
Yeah, it's hot.
It's pretty hot. As you know, somebody new has been elected into, the
William
government
Lai.
there. And as a response,
The president.
And as a response, as usual, China throws a hissy fit. They do this every time, by the way. This is not like something they've never done before. But this time they've ramped it up a little bit. So they're putting things like what you're going to see here on Chinese state TV, showing like in beautiful, amazing computer graphics, just how they're going to blow the shit out of Taiwan. Take a look at these explosions. It's like explosion.freepng.org.
Can you pause it there? I just want to ask you a question.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know if you guys are new to this whole Taiwan thing, but China keeps telling the rest of the world that they want peaceful reunification with Taiwan.
Does this look peaceful to you?
What is that?
It's literally like freepng.org,
you
transparent PNG GIF.
Are you just having friends over for bonfires?
Yes.
Because that looks like you're actually physically blowing up Taiwan.
Yeah, so it's not about friendly reunification. Never has been. It's just a lie.
Can't be a reunification.
Who's the new person that was elected in?
William Lai.
Yeah, it's just a lie.
It's just a lie. Yeah. William, it was really nothing.
Yeah. Anyway, so we got some secret spy footage of the actual People's Liberation Army
Can
Air
I give them a
Force.
caveat?
Sure.
Don't share this.
Yeah, this is secret.
This is secret. This is only here that you can see this, and forget about it when you're done, because we're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah. So as you know, the People's Liberation Army Air Force, the PLAF, as it's known.
Yes.
This is their CG representation, but the actual footage of their preparations for the assault, we managed to get some spy footage, so we'll show you here in a second. Here we go.
William Lai is highly regarded in a good way, because
Yes.
we're talking about the new president. Congratulations to William Lai, who was elected as the president.
Free and
of Taiwan.
democratic process.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Now, to make you understand why this is important, here on the next slide, you have to understand that Taiwan is run usually between two parties. Now, there are multiple parties, but two parties dominate the voter scene, right? You have the Kuomintang. The Kuomintang, or Kuomintang, as it's spelled in Wade Giles.
Kuomintang,
was the party that ran away, the nationalist party that ran away from China and fled to Taiwan when they lost against the communists and the Japanese.
in a civil war which never ended, by the way. So they
think of it kind of like North Korea and South Korea.
Yeah.
They're kind of they're at a stalemate, right? Taiwan's like, no, we're going to chill down here.
Yeah.
And then China's like, no, we want you.
Yes.
We need you, right?
Yeah.
Now, China's always sided more. It's weird because think about this. The Kuomintang was fighting against the communists, but China sides more with the Kuomintang because the Kuomintang is more about maybe someday we'll get back together.
Yeah, and also it's a relic of that time, and Taiwan has moved on since then.
Yeah.
Taiwan became this incredible country, for lack of a better word, because it is. Technologically advanced, vibrant culture. It's an amazing place. It's one of my favorite places in the world.
Me too.
Yeah.
But to the CCP, they prefer that because that's more like there's a hope that reunification could happen.
Sure.
Right? There's a hope that the old guard and the old money would be more in line with the values of the CCP today than they would with any sort of Western-friendly government, perhaps, right?
Sure.
Then you have the DPP, which is Democratic Progressive Party. They're the good guys, usually. They want Taiwan to be a democratic free country.
Yeah.
And they are more vocal about being separate from China. They don't want to go back to China.
And look,
right?
it's an actual democracy without any caveats, not some whole process, people's bullshit. Let's add a couple of things onto the word democracy to try and make it sound like it's a democracy, but it's not. They actually are a democracy. People go and vote. You can vote for your little area. You can vote for your president. You can vote for everything. You can vote to fix the potholes in the road.
Yes. So Tsai Ing-wen was the previous president. She was in the DPP.
Yeah.
And then her successor, William Lai, also won from the DPP.
Yes.
Right? So that's important to understand. China, think about them having a hissy fit. They're going ape. Right?
Of course, every single time. Remember when Nancy Pelosi landed or whatever, there's Operation Fish Killed, and they had to shoot missiles in the water. Every single time that Taiwan does something on its own because it's its own country, China's like, no, how dare you?
Now, it's gotten so bad that they're real mad this time.
Yes.
Now, they always get real mad, right?
Yeah. I'll take this volume down and we'll just play this again.
What happened was when William Lai took office, China, if they don't do something about it, then their populace goes, "What are you doing, government? You said you were going to take back Taiwan a million billion times."
Do you remember last time, actually, was when Nancy Pelosi landed on Taiwan? Remember the people crying and throwing fits in the streets because the government had said that's the final red line. If America lands a military plane on Taiwan, that's it, it's done.
Yeah.
And then America landed a military plane on Taiwan and the government didn't do anything.
It was more like kind of a no you moment.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Oh yes, it was one of these. Exactly. And literally people were crying. They were so disappointed in their government because when you fed so much propaganda about we will take it back, we will resolutely, this and that, and then nothing happens. They're like, my government is lying to me. It's a freaking lie. We are powerless. We're weak.
I'll be honest with you. This is a bit of there's a point of contention here, but between that event and then the Shanghai COVID crackdowns, those two things were the diciest thing that China almost lost control over the populace.
It's true.
They were like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
That's not what you said you were going to do.
Nope.
All they have to do is shut up, earn money, and then they let the government do whatever they want because they don't have a choice, right?
Yeah.
But when the government's not paying the piper, they're lying through their teeth and they're not delivering what they promised the people, like taking back Taiwan 100 billion times.
Yeah, how many times? Yeah. And these red lines, China's final red line is never its final red line. It's always its first ever iteration. It's its like pre-release line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's nonsense. They're always like, this is our final red line every single time.
Yeah.
And whenever that line's crossed, they're just like, don't do anything. They just like have a little hissy fit and like, you'll regret it.
Yeah, so let's see what they did. So first they launched CG missiles.
Yeah, you see how they mix it with real footage to make it seem, this is like a training exercise?
I think that even though you're aware of that, it works. You know what I mean? Because it's like, oh, it's bad. There's blowing stuff up. And at the same time, you see like real planes. You're like, oh, it could be real.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
So what they're doing, I suppose the best way to explain this is a mock blockade.
Yeah.
So they've surrounded the island with their military exercises, basically. But remember, this is punishment for this new guy being elected. This is why they're doing it. They're like, how dare you elect someone? You're not allowed to do anything on your own.
Go to the next one, actually. It's a little clearer.
Okay.
So I wanted to point something out, which you guys might be able to see properly. Why's that?
Yeah.
See the red?
Yes.
So that's the current blockade.
Yes.
So this is where China is around Taiwan right now.
Yeah.
If you look at this, you're going to freak out. Like if you're interested in the future of World War III here,
Sure,
this is how it's probably going to kick off, right?
Yeah.
So you have them surrounding here, but what I want to put in perspective, and I think this is key, is that, and I think this is good because a lot of media sources will try to uber hype this up, not to support China. In fact, they'll be critical of China, but be like, oh my gosh, this is the end.
Yeah,
right?
there's a lot of fear-mongering and nonsense going on.
What I wanted to show with this graphic, and this is the important thing, is this isn't new. If you see the yellow part?
You mean the green?
The greenish yellow, whatever. So the red is the current blockade.
Yeah, the red is what's happening now.
You got all these ships, you got all this crazy Navy movement, aircraft movement.
Aircraft
it's actually, we'll show you all
and boats and stuff.
We'll show you everything. That green is 2022. This already happened. Right?
This happened before.
People have such selective memory.
Yeah, they just can't remember. Look, it's exactly the same. I mean, a little bit shifted. And what happened in 2022 to cause this?
2022's event was Pelosi, wasn't it? What are you talking about?
Probably, yeah.
That was that year, right? I'm mixing up
I think
years.
so.
Hold on. Blockade.
And remember, there was some other
2022.
2022.
Yeah, that's when they closed off the 6 zones. 6 zones of the what's it called? The Taiwan Strait.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yep.
Remember we had Operation Fish Kill.
Yes, it was Operation Fish Kill.
This was following Nancy Pelosi. I was correct.
Okay.
So right when Nancy Pelosi visited, they did this, right?
Yeah, so they've done it before. Now they're just doing it because
this is Unger Warm time.
Because it's Unger Warm. Because Lai, got elected. So
William Lai. So anyway, I wanted to just keep
just to put some things into perspective. Because look, it does. We're not trying to downplay the seriousness of this, right? It is serious, and what China's doing is absolutely disgusting. And for most places in the world, this would be a declaration of war.
Yeah, these are spooky bricks. Yeah. You're looking at spooky bricks right here.
Yeah, very spooky bricks. But just to also calm things down a bit, this is not something out of the blue because this is something they've done before.
It's par for the
Hence
course.
the green-yellow things, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Go to the next one. This one's even spookier.
Sure.
Because this one's got lines on it.
Uh-huh.
See the lines?
Yes.
But now you can actually see some of the crap.
Are these some final red lines we're looking at here?
So this is an important point here.
Okay.
you're looking at a terrifying blockade. This quite literally looks like an invasion.
It does.
Right?
Look, they're all around the island, yeah.
I got some cold water to throw on everyone here. There have been no signs of any heavy vessels from China. There have been no amphibious assault ships. There have been no aircraft carriers. So when you have a blockade, you're automatic. I think your mind goes to, well, there's going to be aircraft carriers all over the place. There's going to be all these
massive warships.
Frickin' warships.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry.
Right. All this crazy. I stopped before I said the CK.
Yeah.
I just said pho.
Yeah, pho.
Like, you know,
like when you eat that stuff. Yeah.
A real invasion would have massive ships,
Sure.
massive fleets of actual ships that would be being used, right?
Yeah.
I have a little quote here. The last time a major amphibious assault took place close to Taiwan was the U.S. invasion of Okinawa in 1944. It shows you how rare this is.
Yeah.
The U.S. fleet had nearly 300 naval combatants, including 11 fleet carriers, large aircraft carriers, right?
Yeah.
And hundreds of troop and supply ships. There's none of that here. None.
Yeah, and how big is Okinawa in comparison to Taiwan?
It's minuscule.
Freaking tiny.
Yeah,
So yeah.
It's a show of force. This is, if you want my expert opinion, and I'm being facetious, my non-expert opinion.
Sure, you can be an expert.
I'll be an expert on...
Not on colors, though.
No, apparently not. My non-expert opinion is that this is a show of force for the domestic populace in China, as it always is. And until I'm proven wrong otherwise, I'm always going to say, boy, cried wolf here.
Yes.
I just haven't seen anything different. You know, it's every time a major event that China gets mad at with Taiwan's sovereignty, they
It's
do
a
this.
bunch of, guerrilla chest punt. What do you call that? Chest bashing, chest thumping. By the way, those are yellow.
Those are green, right?
No, this time you're right. In retrospect,
Yeah.
you know, like if you were to superimpose these and suddenly take the green one away, then you would be correct. Just saying, you know.
All right. Well,
But yeah, look, China likes to do this. They are a bully, right? And
Pride
it's literally like a bully who's been denied and, rejected by a girl he likes. And he thinks he can control her life even though she's got nothing to do with him. And that's what's happening here with China.
so
Judy's not your girlfriend.
Judy's not your girlfriend. And I spoke to some Taiwanese about their opinion of this. Actually, I'll finish off with that. But first, let's look at the response. This is the good part.
Yeah.
This is from Kyle Bass. This is a great little infographic about which ships are being used in the
I'll read this. Or do you want to read it?
No, go ahead.
Okay, you sure?
Yeah.
It says, China has now surrounded Taiwan in all directions. CCTV on mainland China has interviewed a senior Chinese military official who explained that Taiwan is an isolated island with weak self-sufficiency. Given Taiwan's reliance on fuel imports, he said the CCP can make it a dead island once it is besieged and blockaded. Key months for amphibious invasion are April, May, and August. It seems Xi's plans are on track for an invasion sooner than most are expecting.
I think Kyle has some great points on CCP stuff. I think he's not wrong here.
Yeah.
I will politely disagree with the final point.
I do disagree with that,
I think
too.
there's no way to know that. This is not any different than anything we've ever seen before.
How many times, have we had this situation where they're like, literally, it's our final red line, we will invade and we'll take it in 3 days and all that.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again. So yes, we can always say that we have to be prepared for the worst, but there's nothing really out of the ordinary here.
Yeah, I mean, prove me wrong. Don't prove me wrong.
Don't prove me
Please
wrong.
don't do this, China.
Yeah. So, this is the Global Times. So we're still continuing. This is not the response yet. This is, again, China's state media saying that the PLA Eastern Theater Command recently organized its Army, Naval, Air, and Rocket forces to conduct joint drills around Taiwan Island to test the troops' combat capability in joint operations. Completely rightful, legitimate, and necessary. Again, this is like... Yeah, if you have to say that, exactly. And it's literally like, are you talking to Judy?
Yeah.
When she's...
I heard you talk to my girlfriend.
Yeah, but she's not your girlfriend. But it's like, but I heard you talk to her. Don't you dare talk to her, that kind of thing.
Judy's not your girlfriend.
No, Judy's not your girlfriend, China. But they show this infographic again in CG, showing like, oh, these are the things coming out, and then they're going to just attack and blow up the island. Again, this just shows you China is a bully. China is belligerent. China's got nothing to do with peace. They keep going on about peaceful reunification.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
It's an absolute joke. It's funny. They'll do that 364 days of the year, and then one day of the year do this.
Yeah.
It's like we are peaceful. We don't want anything. We just want peaceful reunification. Taiwan wants to come back to the mainland, and like 90% of Taiwanese people don't.
Yeah, they don't.
But they keep going, oh, we'll make sure it happens peacefully and blah, blah. And then the rest of the year they do this.
And if people are stupid enough to trust them, by now you should have realized that whole one country, two systems with Hong Kong, they're like, oh, we won't lie, we'll let that continue to go. But no, they just completely bulldozed all of that stuff. Completely broke their promises.
You know what China says when they someone asks her if they don't know who Judy is. Who's Judy?
Yeah.
They say, she goes to a different school. You wouldn't know her.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, this is Taiwan footage of Taiwan. Now Taiwan's been setting up some supersonic anti-ship missiles, missile batteries in response. You got to be prepared. What's that?
Energizer or Duracell?
Yeah. Not those kind of batteries. More like, assault and battery.
Oh, crap. What about assault with batteries?
That would be assault and battery. Yeah, assault with batteries, yeah. I guess if you took a bunch of batteries and you put them in a sack,
yes.
You hit someone with a sack of batteries, that would be assault with battery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Or a car battery. Imagine that, swinging that around.
Someone's done that.
Yeah, assault with car battery.
China just throws car batteries into the ocean.
Yeah. So this is Taiwan. They mobilized their anti-ship supersonic
This is the kind
missiles.
of thing I don't want to have to see, unfortunately.
Yeah, but at least,
sad.
We always see the China side. They're always
I'm just sad that they have to do this.
Yeah, but it just shows that they're prepared. They're not going to just sit there and take it.
No. Remember, there's conscription in Taiwan.
Yeah.
All my Taiwanese friends had to serve in the army.
Exactly.
None of my Chinese friends served in the army.
Yes, that's actually true. I grew up with some Taiwanese friends in Johannesburg. All of them, the ones that had grown up in Taiwan, or many of them had to fly back to Taiwan to do their military service. So, yeah, everyone did it. And you're right, I don't know anyone, like most people that go into the PLA are usually, they're definitely not middle class, let's put it that way. There's no reason. If you're earning money, if you've got a job... Yeah, exactly.
Then you're the richest people in the country.
Sure, exactly. The National Defense Force from Taiwan says, for freedom, democracy, and our nation's sovereignty, we condemn PRC Eastern Theater's announcement of joint Legion, blah, 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 jeopardizing regional peace.
2024A. That implies there's another one coming this year. No, there is.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, that could go all the way up to Z.
They could. That kind of gives, I think we figured out the psyop here.
Yeah.
They want you to think, there's another one coming, B, but it doesn't stop it.
No, it just goes to Z.
That's not the invasion. It goes to Z.
Yeah, exactly.
And what happens to Z. It doesn't end in 3 days, that's for sure.
Well,
it's not
China,
a 3-day invasion.
Yeah, but that's true. But China, they'll be like, this is our A, B, C, and by the end, then they're like, damn, we still haven't done anything. Then they'll add on to it. Now I know my A's. And then and then they'll be like, oh man, no, wait, we made a mistake. Let's start over again.
Yes.
Anyway, so they say, we stand ready with firm will and restraint. We seek no conflicts, but we will not shy away from one. We have the capacity, determination, and confidence to safeguard our national security. Which is a good, rational way to respond to a situation like this. And Taiwan has to be the most patient of countries.
Oh my gosh. I have some quotes from Taiwanese friends that I'll read at the end that shows that patience.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, let's take a look here. This is again the from the Taiwan
we'll
National
just get out
Security.
of there.
Yeah, they put this out.
Funny, what's funny? I don't
That
get like
patch.
I don't get like those horrible authoritarian vibes when I see this war propaganda stuff from Taiwan.
Yeah,
it just seems
it's
like
nice.
it's a reasonable. It was like a reasonable
response. Yeah,
yeah.
And I do like the fact that they are using the equipment that China's military equipment is a copy of. They're using the real thing.
That's true.
You know, interesting fact, the Soviet Union, how they got the Sidewinder missile technology, you know, heat seekers, is because of a conflict between China and Taiwan.
Oh.
Because, you know, Taiwan had an American Sidewinder-equipped fighter jet fired at a MiG, and it got stuck in the MiG and it didn't explode, and so they flew back with it, and then they reverse engineered it.
That's right.
Interesting. Anyway, I love this patch. This is from the Hawaiian Raptors, and you got the F-22s over there. And it says, kill with aloha. And it's got Winnie the Pooh with a little balloon, because, you know, the spy balloon is like that white balloon being screwed.
Oh, yeah. It's the Hawaiian flag.
It's like,
That's
I kind of love it.
Very funny.
I like the way Taiwan can have a joke about this type of thing. You know?
Yeah.
And
I think the Hawaii Raptors are probably American military.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but, you know, like with the whole Winnie the Pooh, you know, those like scramble. You put those in, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So, yes, Japan will defend Taiwan. Reiterated, they have a strong friendship with Taiwan. And, of course, Japan sees the fact that Taiwan is its own independent nation is very key to security in the area. Because, of course, Japan and China have a bit of a history here. And, you know, Japan would prefer the status quo. So if there is a conflict, Japan will get involved. The USA has a pact to say they will get involved too. So that's also a reason why we don't see China just trying it on, you know? So yeah, I love these. You might remember these from a while ago. It's like we're open 24/7 as a Taiwanese bear punching Winnie the Pooh. And fight for freedom. These patches are awesome, by the way. I know a friend actually offered to send me some.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I think I'll take him up on that offer, put it on my motorcycle jacket. You know, I'm not one for like political slogans or anything, but this I'd wear.
That's pretty sweet.
This is awesome. It's such a cool design. What do we got next over here? Yes, there's cartoons, and this is, you see this kind of thing, you know. China's always throwing a hissy fit, and Taiwan's just sitting there back eating popcorn and drinking milk tea.
Just leave that up for a second. I want to read the Chinese media response.
Sure.
So when William Lai was inaugurated, right, new president of Taiwan, the Global Times already cast him as arrogant and reckless, and CCTV wrote that he will certainly be nailed to the pillar of shame in history, and lambasted him for selling the two-nation theory.
Okay.
So, I mean, you have this babyish response, but I thought this cartoon reminded me of what, I'll just paraphrase some stuff that I spoke to a Taiwanese friend this morning. I asked him this, I said, what is it like on the ground? Because I know the air raids are going off. It's hectic, right? He said, no one gives a shit. And I said, why? Like, doesn't it feel weird to be encircled by China? And he said, we've always been encircled by China. We're on China's doorstep. Yeah. He said, if we don't live a normal life, then we're never going to live a normal life. The threat's always there.
Correct.
And I said, that makes perfect sense.
Correct.
He said, everyone's just going about their days.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
It is. It's fantastic.
Oh, there's a quote from BBC. It says, on the streets of Taipei, the response to the drills have been a collective shrug.
It's true. You kind of get tired of this bluster. And this cartoon over here, it really does encapsulate that, doesn't it?
It does. China's
always throwing a hissy fit, and Taiwan just chills out. And they're like, whatever, bro. Tell me about your red line again. You know?
Yeah, I mean, if you can only say I'm gonna do something so many times.
Why did the Chinese chicken cross the red line?
Why?
It didn't.
That's the joke.
Yeah, exactly. That type of thing. Yeah.
Either piss on the frog or get out.
Yeah, exactly. You know? Yeah, where is this? Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's kind of the situation right now with all of that. Anything else you'd like to add to that situation?
Oh yes, I want to finish off with this. So you might ask why, right? We've talked about this a million times. It's not just a matter of national pride. That's more for domestic propaganda.
Yes.
China needs to show their citizens, we promised you this a million times since Mao took over. Yeah. That we're going to take back Taiwan. So we got to keep the fire stoked.
Yeah.
Right. Constantly running drills, telling everyone it's going to happen, showing off military parades, North Korea style, right?
And you know what? Then they can relax for a while, because once the public's all stoked up, we taught them a lesson. We showed them how weak they are and how strong we are. Then the PLA and the Chinese government can be like, okay, now we can just go about our business for a while until people start to doubt us a bit more, and then we'll just do it again.
Yeah.
It's kind of what they do. Yeah.
But there's a real reason. That's again for population control. Remember, China's just like North Korea. There is no freedom of press, so they have to put stuff in the zeitgeist and make sure people fall in line. But in real life, really what they want is Taiwan's semiconductor industry, because that is the U.S. semiconductor industry. Really.
Yeah, and Taiwan has got the most advanced semiconductor industry in the world.
They need their chips. They need their chips, and I'm not talking about Doritos, bro.
No.
They need their chips for everything going forward. If China ever wants to surpass the West or Taiwan in general, because remember, Taiwan's much wealthier per capita.
Yeah.
It's much more developed. It's much more switched on.
Yeah, and that's what people don't seem to understand. They're always like, "Oh, China's the second biggest economy."
No, yeah, by
but like
scale.
scale. But it's actually it sucks, man.
It's
Most
poor
people
as
are
hell.
poor. Most people are poor in China, and yes, you get very rich people, but there's such a small percentage. The quality of life in China sucks donkey balls in comparison to Taiwan. I'm not kidding.
And don't even get me started on compared to America.
Yeah,
It's a
exactly.
joke.
Yeah, if you have lived, you lived in Taiwan and China. I lived in
Incomparable.
China for over a decade, 14 years, and visited Taiwan many times. You can't compare the two. Taiwan is streets ahead. It literally takes China and kicks it in the balls so hard that China becomes a eunuch when it comes to this.
Yes. Like an old school Chinese eunuch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Honestly, Taiwan's
One of those hats.
yeah, way better. Exactly, got one of those hats. So,
anyway,
they want that.
they
They
want
want the riches. They want the
riches, but
technology.
It's beyond that too. They want to surpass the U.S., right?
Yeah.
And you have to be able to take over the semiconductor industry.
Yes.
Taiwan has a monopoly on this, right? So there are fail safes now, which are very hilarious to me because it really removes the incentive to want to invade Taiwan. Keep in mind, if China invades Taiwan, they might win.
Yeah.
But did they really?
I think it'll be the biggest mistake they ever make.
It's like suicide for global opinion of you. You will delete millions, if not tens of millions, of your fighting force, of your soldiers.
Yes.
You will deplete your entire military supply. You will potentially suffer a blockade in the ocean from getting your oil from other places.
Yeah.
You will suffer sanctions from countries that quite literally fuel your entire economy. Without the US,
food.
you will be nothing.
Yeah,
You
not
will
only
be
the US.
Nothing.
I think all the goodwill that they have would be just completely thrown out the window. I'm pretty sure that countries right now that are very happy to deal with China, after they show some kind of aggression and invade, will not want to deal with them anymore.
It'll at least get some of them to flip.
Shit like Temu or Temu and
Yeah.
Shane and all that nonsense is probably not going to be popular anymore.
No.
You know?
So this comes at a massive cost.
Yeah.
And the massive cost, it doesn't have to happen when you have kill switches on the semiconductor industry to where, okay, the first moment that boots hit the ground or the first ship that pulls up on Taiwan's shore, those semiconductor facilities go boom.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you've lost all reason to do such a thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's done.
Yeah, there's no point.
No.
All you're going to do is enrage the entire world and get a piece of land.
And Crossman Jeff says, thought the same for Russia, but here we are. And that's a good point. But to counter that, I would say thought the same for Russia, but here we are because they get to watch Russia.
Yes.
How many years are we into this now?
Yeah.
Like there's supposed to be a 3-day invasion, right? They can look at this and go, wow, that's a land border that Russia failed to storm in 3 days. And now we're years into this and how much money in debt.
You think Russia doesn't have a strong military and
They have
military
a damn
weapons and
strong
tanks
military.
and planes and fighter jets and everything?
China is not ready for this. And if they are, like I said, let's say for some bizarre reason there was no U.S. support or something and everyone pulled out and they managed to pull it off, what do you win? You win nothing.
Yeah.
You potentially disrupt public opinion in your own country, and that's China's biggest fear. Because if you get your own people to turn on you, there's no turning back.
Yeah.
You know?
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. So,
Not saying it's not going to happen, by the way.
Yeah.
Not saying it's not
but we
going to
have
happen.
look. We have to be rational about this. I think at the end of the day, that's what we're all about over here. Is we have to be realistic.
Yeah, there's a difference between a China hawk and someone who's critical of CCP.
Yeah.
I don't think we're China hawks. I don't think we think that China's necessarily bad or good
There
or
are no
better at
birds in
anything.
China, so
Yeah, true.
yeah, it would have to be something else.
We look at what we have experienced in the country and we look at facts and we look at what China's response is and we try to translate that best to you. That's what we do.
Yeah. So I would rationally try to say that don't let your guard down, but don't expect anything to happen.
No.
You know, other than a bunch of bluster.
But it could.
Nonsense.
You never know with unpredictable
Yeah.
despots.
Absolutely. They added that engine sound, yeah. Bam.
Check this out. He has like a full one, and then when you need to get in tight places, you got a little one.
It looks pretty rubbish, though. I'm gonna be honest. It looks. Oh yeah, because it won't go under.
It won't go under. It floats
Yeah.
too well. No one gives a shit.
They're just like, what even is going on here? It's like a fish.
It's like a parade float.
I think it's cool that that's the steering wheel.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Now, you see, wouldn't that be a beautiful scene if the
wasn't
sky wasn't
polluted, yeah.
disgusting? Yeah, look at you see what I mean? Surely there are better ways to wash your hair.